Welcome into Boxing Scene's top stories on ProBox TV. Download the ProBox TV app. Never fall behind in your boxing news. Well, it was a title fest in Japan and perhaps the best kept secret in Japanese boxing. Can he get big in the United States? Well, it was JUNTO Nakatani. He retained his WBC bantamweight crown against Pechsor Chitpatana by 6-round TKO in a brutal performance. He showcased his technique, his power. Could there be a showdown with the monster Inoue? That is the question. To help me answer it, we have, of course, the champs, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, and ESPN boxing analyst Timothy Bradley. Chris, let me start with you. Is Nakatani the best kept secret outside of the U.S. right now when it comes to highlight level boxing?
Well, I don't think it's so much of a secret anymore. The guy's been putting up these incredible performances, getting highlight reel knockouts. That Maloney knockout on the undercard of Haney and Lomachenko was absolutely scary as hell. He is a very, very dangerous, very, very skilled. And I've mentioned his style, that he's Japanese, of course, so he's got that traditional, fundamental, strong, always in good shape, good puncher, physically strong and aggressive style. But he's got a bit of the Western flair to him. He changes levels. He's got that southpaw positioning. He'll probe and pry with that jab. He's got that upper body movement. A lot of times you don't see a lot of Eastern fighters have that. He does, and he's a very dangerous hybrid style, and it's a ton of fun. And he keeps performing. He's huge for these weight classes. He's very, very tall. He's very long. I believe that more and more people are getting the name Nakatani, JUNTO Nakatani, in the zeitgeist of the sport right now, because I mean, you keep putting up performances like this, and you've got the monster looming, the names are going to be together constantly, and I think they are more and more. And from what Bob Arum, I like to call him the Bob Father, has in mind for these two is to set them up so we can get them, get their names basically in combination together. So you think of one, you think of the other, and set up a huge mega fight possibly sometime next year.
Now, that was my next question. Tim, I want to ask you, how far away is this fight? Is there a tune-up for Nakatani on the way? Is it another title fight? What do you think leads them together the best way? If you were you're the Bob Father making this fight, how far away is it?
It's going to be next year sometime. Don't know, maybe the summertime, maybe the first quarter. I don't know. Maybe not the first quarter. I would say later in the year, maybe even in the fall, this fight can possibly happen. Hey, look, in a way, younger brother, he lost. Yeah. He was supposed to be fighting Nakatani. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to happen. I was supposed to be set up, but he just lost right now. So I would say, I'll tell you this. I believe that Nakatani has the possibility or has the ability to beat Noya anyway. I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is the guy, this is the one guy that I believe in the lower weight classes has everything it takes to beat anyway. I know his trainer, Rudy Hernandez, very well. What they work on a lot in training is turning their shots over. That's the reason why he's producing so many knockouts, because he knows how to turn those knuckles down, turn those knuckles over with every shot. Another thing that I learned about him is that he don't use hand mitts. They don't believe in hand mitts. What they believe in is turning your punches over, learning how to punch on a heavy bag. And so this is a guy that knows how to punch through his opponents. And that's what you're seeing right here. I don't know the guy he was facing. I don't know if he was much of a challenge at all. I really don't. I expected this. I never heard of this guy's name. However, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight against Nonito Donaire. Why not next? Nonito Donaire, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight against Bam Rodriguez. Wouldn't mind him fight that guy, and I wouldn't mind him seeing fight against Noya anyway. But as far as the time period goes, it's probably later next year. That's what I'm hearing from the people at Top Rank.
Paulie, I want to ask you about the card itself. 7 title fights in 2 days. It was like a carnival of title fights. A lot of excitement when you have that many great fights, but is it a little bit of an overload? We had some criticism about the card in LA featuring Terrence Crawford. That's a little too much for boxing fans. What's your thought on the direction this is going?
Another thing, Chris, you mentioned was that, the Nakatani training it over in the West. And we've mentioned that. And Tim, you also mentioned that with Rudy Hernandez. I do think that also gives him that little extra spice as well. And I think it makes him entertaining both for us and it raises more curiosity. I won't say that entertaining, because Naoya Inoue is also very entertaining, but I do think it raises curiosities, and I do think it can create that rivalry, because Naoya does train in Japan, right, for the most part, and Nakatani does train in America for the most part, yet they're both becoming big stars in Japan. So you do have things that you can grasp onto as far as rivalries and as far as things we can nitpick at both fighters, and where guys can nitpick at each other. If this thing does start to debilitate into some trash talking as well. So you got some stuff there that raises some curiosities, but I don't see how these two guys don't eventually get it on and have a great fight with one another.
It would be an all-Japan showdown that would definitely put butts in seats and I think make both fighters household names in the United States when it comes to boxing. That would be an incredible showdown. And when it happens, we'll cover the news right here on ProBox TV.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Dynamite action on Wednesday Night Fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel.
Coming up on your next Wednesday Night Fights, October 16th. Chris, Primetime Colbert, and Omar Super Salcido step into the ring for what is sure to be a barn burner. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at ProBoxTV.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday Night Fights.
Boxing superstar Tim Tszyu is coming to Prime Video. Don't miss this championship showdown as Tszyu takes on undefeated Murtaz Aliyev for the Super Welterweight World Title. Saturday, October 19th, streaming live exclusively on Prime Video for all Prime members.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.